Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be comparing a 2022 Kia Stinger to a 2021 Kia Stinger. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Jerry Sander Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with both of the Stingers. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Now let's pop under the hoods of both of the Stingers. Starting with the 2021 Stinger, we have a twin-turbo 3.3-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 365 horsepower and then 376 pound-feet of torque. Coming over to the new Stinger, everything is identical except highway fuel economy drops down to 24, and then horsepower goes up by 3, so 368 horsepower. But other than that, they're pretty much the same from an under the hood perspective. Now let's go over the front ends of both of these Stingers, starting over here with the 2021. Notice you've got the really cool fake venting there on the hood. I don't care it's fake, it still looks cool. Notice the Kia logo, that's very important. Full LED lights with the LED accent lights. You got the venting here on the side and then all across the front with the sensor there in the middle that kind of matches the rest of the grille. And then you got kind of like the chrome there at the bottom. Coming over to the new Stinger, everything is identical except the Kia logo has been changed, and notice you've got a little camera right there in the sensor. But I mean, other than that, everything else from a front end perspective is the same. Now coming around the side here, we've got the exact same tire and wheel setup from a size perspective. 225mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front, and then over in the rear, 255mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels. Now there is a little bit of a difference in terms of the design on the wheels, but admittedly this is a GT2, whereas this 21 is a GT1, so there is going to be some differences just because of the packaging. Got Brembo brakes on both of them, and then also you've got the cool venting here on the side that's kind of in that like interesting kind of chrome look. But it is it's pretty much the same in coloration, just looks a little bit different because of the different paint colors on both of the cars. I like it on both of them. And then notice you got the sunroofs on the tops of both of them. Let's head to the rear. Let's go with the rear hatches of both of these Stingers, starting over here with the new one. Notice you've got the cargo cover, and then you've got a ton of storage space back here because again, this is a hatchback. Popping over to the 2021 Stinger, everything is the same. The only difference is this one is not power operable for the rear hatch, whereas this one is. But again, that's a GT1 and that's a GT2, so that's kind of why that is a thing. But that's the back hatches. Now let's go over things in the rear of both of these Stingers. Starting over here with the 2021, notice the taillights here in the back, kind of the design on those. You've got all of your Stinger badging, parking sensors, and then also pay attention to the exhaust tips. That's very important. Coming over here to the 2022, notice that the lights here in the back, definitely different for the look here. Still get the gigantic light bar, just looks different compared to the 2021. Parking sensors here in the back, and then look at the exhaust tips. Well, at least the coverings for the exhaust tips, absolutely massive. Like you can pretty much fit your whole fist in the new one, whereas the old one, yeah, not even. So like definitely a big size difference. And yeah, that's everything for the backs. Let's pop into the back seats of both of the Stingers. So coming over here to the 2021, notice that you've got all the leather with the stitching all across and then soft touch down below. Got a couple speakers with a sound system. And then coming to the seats themselves, again, full leather, perforated leather all the way down the center portion with all of that. And let's actually pop in. So stepping in, by the way, it's going to be the same in terms of like the space back here. But notice you got the vents down there, and then you've got a little charging area. These seats definitely feel firmer than the new one, and we'll actually pop the new one so that we can show you guys that. But let's pop out of the 2021, and I know the doors are close, but don't worry, I measured. So now opening up the door panel here in the back, notice different design here with the leather, did a bunch of stitching, and then notice you've got a couple more speakers. And then here are the seats in the back. See the perfect leather on the side. Again, remember, GT1 versus GT2, and I totally just hit my head, but you know what, we're gonna play it off like that never happened. You guys can see space is the same back here, but yeah, these seats definitely feel softer, they're more comfortable. That whole vent area is the same, and let's just pretend I didn't hit my head coming into here. Going over the door panel here in the 2021, again, notice all the leather with the stitching all throughout, and then you've got the soft touch down below. All of your window controls, you've got your mirror adjustments, and the mirrors do power fold in. Memory seats up above with a couple speakers for the, well, actually 3 speakers for the sound system. And then here are the seats in the front. So full leather, you've got the perfect leather there in the center, really nice bolsters, and then more leather down below with your adjustments on the side of the seat. And then you guys can see the pedals look really nice. Your lane departure assistance, your blind spot, and then that's for the gas. The steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. Let's go over the interior here of the 21. So you've got soft touch leather at the top and at the bottom of the steering wheel with the GT logo. And then you've got the perfect leather here on the side with the paddle shifters. And then you got your phone controls on that side, and then your cruise control, pages button, all that kind of stuff on the other side. Stock for the lights and turn signals, stock for the windshield wiper. And then coming here into the center, you've got these analog gauges that have the screen in the center, and that just shows you different bits of information on the vehicle itself. I love how it has a lap timer. And then we do have some different drive modes. So notice you've got your custom, your sport, your comfort, eco, and then smart with the different drive modes. And by the way, when you go into sport, what it'll actually do in the GT2 is it'll like pull the bolsters in with the seats, but since this is a GT1, it doesn't do the bolster thing with the seats. Anyways, coming over here to the infotainment system, it's just a little touch screen. Response time on the screen is actually pretty good. Get the sounds of nature, which is very important. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay come with the screen, and then we just have a traditional camera for the backup camera here on the GT1. But other than that, it's a good little infotainment system, and you guys notice how that's integrated in the dash. Bunch of circular vents, and then we've got all of our controls down here for the radio. Climate controls just down below that. Dual zone climate. Got our wireless phone charger with some USBs and a 12 volt. And then here's the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have the manual shift function. Couple cup holders right here. And then notice you've got your parking brake. That's for the drive mode select. You've got your auto hold, your stability control. And then we've got the seat controls on either side. So you just push down for the ventilated seat, and then it'll turn blue. And then you push up for the heated seat, and it'll turn red. Your heated steering wheel, that's for the parking sensors. That's for your auto stop start. And then you've got the center console with some storage space just in front of it. Coming over here, we've got the glove box, which I don't know what that was, but I'll put it back, okay, guys? But yeah, that's the glove box, that's the dash, and then finishing things up here at the top, we've got a sunglass holder and then an automatic sunroof. It's just kind of like a smaller sunroof, but it's still an automated shade and all that. But that's the interior on the GT1 2021. Now here's the door panel on the front of the 2022 Stinger. So again, notice that you've got all the stitching, whereas the other one just kind of has the leather with not tons of stitching. And then you've got all of your window controls, power folding mirrors, memory seats. All of this is pretty much the same. And then here are the seats. So again, got the full leather seats with the really nice bolsters here. The leather does feel a little bit softer, we'll mention that. And then you've got the perfect leather in the center. You've got the adjustments on the side, and then here are the pedals just down below. Same little controls in that area. Steering wheel is still automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now I'm just going to mention the key differences with both of the cars. So first off, the different Kia logo right there. And then coming here into the center, notice that it looks a little bit different with the actual screen and all that, just kind of the font. The layout's the same, it's just the font and everything with the screen's a little bit different. And then the drive modes, that's also different. So notice that it's all in a line versus kind of in the circle of the other Stinger. You still get the same drive modes. And then again, this is a GT2, so the bolsters will tighten around you when you go into sport mode. But yeah, that's just a little bit different. And then the infotainment system, this is another difference. So notice that the whole infotainment system looks different. I definitely feel like that looks nicer in the dash compared to the other system. The other system's just a little bit too blocky, whereas this kind of just being a rectangle, I think just looks cleaner. But yeah, that's another difference. And then also popping into reverse, notice that you've got a ton of different cameras, but again, this is a GT2, whereas that's a GT1. So you expect the GT2 to have a little bit nicer from a camera perspective. But yeah, you get the 360 view and all the different views out the camera, including the side views, which is really nice. And then other than that, coming down below, this is all pretty much the same. The wireless phone charger does look a little bit different. The shifter's different. Notice that you definitely have a different looking shifter here with the 2022 Stinger. This whole section here, though, is pretty much the same. You do have the button there for the camera system, which is different. Center console, That area is all the same. And then up top, it's just a little bit different here. So you still get the whole sunroof and all that. You just don't have a sunglass holder that I can visually see. So I guess that's kind of interesting, but that's the top of the 2022. Let's get into pricing with both the Stingers. So the new 2022 stickers for about $54,700, and then the 2021 stickers for about $49,500. Again, remember, that's a GT1 and that's a GT2, so that's why there's such a large price discrepancy. Now, the last key difference that I wanted to mention between the two cars is the keys. Haha, see what I did there? So this one is the 2021. So this is the key that you guys kind of are all familiar with the leather all around it, and then you've got the round button. Now, the other key is the key for the 2022. So notice that it's a little bit more squared off. It does have remote start, and then you've got the different Kia logo on it. But yeah, there is a difference with the keys. So if you guys see the different keys, and that's how you know that, well, that's to the older Stinger and that's to the newer Stinger. Oh yeah. Now, we do have to pick a winner for today's video, and again, I know this isn't a fully fair comparison because we've got a GT1 versus a GT2, but I'm still going to pick the 2022 Stinger as the winner. I feel like all the subtle changes they did to the car definitely made it just that much nicer, where it's worth getting the new one versus like a 2021 GT2. That being said, though, I'm sure that dealers are going to have a bigger discount on a 21 versus a 22, since the 21 is now technically the old model year. So I guess you have to take that into account, but for today's comparison and review sake, the 2022 wins. Now, that is going to sum things up for our video comparing a 2021 Kia Stinger to a 2022 Kia Stinger. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with both of the Stingers. Check out their inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.